Welcome to this explainer on the 2026 landscape of home cooling. Okay, let's dive into this. Let's be real for a second. Shopping for a new HVAC system, it's not exactly the most glamorous purchase you're ever going to make. It's not a sports car, and it's definitely not a luxury vacation. But honestly, when the brutal heat of summer hits, it is absolutely one of the most vital investments you can make for your home. Today, we're breaking down the 2026 Smart Buyer's Guide to Air Conditioners, pulling from the latest data from Top Tech Mechanical Services to give you exactly what you need to know. Here's the game plan for today's explainer. We're going to cover 1. The 15-year decision. 2. The 4 pillars of cooling. 3. Top-tier brands. 4. Smart value and warranties. 5. The 80-20 rule. And finally 6. Choosing your perfect system. Let's kick things off with Section 1, the 15-year decision. You know, when you buy a new air conditioner, you're essentially entering into a 15 to 20-year marriage with a piece of machinery. I mean, think about that for a second. For the next decade and a half, maybe even 2 whole decades, this one system is going to completely dictate your home's comfort, your summer sanity, and yep, your monthly energy bills. So it's quite the commitment. So the huge question you really have to ask yourself before signing on any dotted line is this: are you about to make a 15-year mistake? Because honestly, choosing the wrong system, one that totally misses the mark on your needs, your specific climate, or your efficiency goals, doesn't just mean a few sweaty weeks. We're talking years of sky-high cooling costs, endless repair visits, and having to replace the whole shebang way too early. Let's look at the data so we can avoid all of that. Let's move to Section 2, the 4 pillars of cooling, and see how this builds our understanding. The absolute most critical acronym you need to get familiar with is SEER2. It stands for Seasonal Energy Efficiency Ratio, and that 2 just indicates the recently updated federal standard for measuring AC efficiency. You can kind of think of it like miles per gallon, but for your house. The higher that SEER2 rating on your unit, the less electricity it gulps down to deliver the same amount of cool air, and that directly translates to lower monthly bills for you. Understanding this simple metric instantly turns you into an insider rather than just a confused consumer trying to decode a sales pitch. For 2026, this is the SEER2 scale you're going to see out there on the market. The absolute minimum federal baseline starts at a 14 SEER2, and it stretches all the way up to a massive 28 on the most advanced systems available today. Where you ultimately land on that scale is going to depend heavily on your budget and exactly what your long-term efficiency goals are. While we're decoding the jargon here, let's quickly chat about the AC contactor. This is just a tiny little electrical component sitting right inside your outdoor unit, and it basically acts as the gatekeeper for power flow. Why should you care? Well, if this little part wears out or fails, which happens, your entire air conditioner just flat out won't start. It's literally the prime example of why regular maintenance is so crucial. Technicians always check this to keep everything running safely, and now you know exactly what they're looking at. Okay, Section 3, top tier. We're talking peak efficiency and serious durability. Now, what's really interesting here is looking at these insane peak efficiency numbers from the top brands. Lennox grabs the #1 spot with models like their SL28XCV hitting a frankly massive 28.0 SEER2 rating, and they do it while running whisper quiet. But right next to them, Daikin's 2026 lineup pushes things even further, achieving up to 28.5 SEER2. That is the highest average among mass-market residential units. And of course, Carrier's right up there too. Their Infinity series hits 24 SEER2, which is absolutely phenomenal if you're chasing premium comfort and serious humidity control. But hey, efficiency isn't everything, right? Durability matters just as much. And Trane, they have built an absolutely legendary reputation for reliability. They use proprietary tech like the Climate-Tough compressor and spine fin coils. But the craziest part is their testing protocol. Trane literally puts their units through these notorious torture tests. They run them continuously in incredibly harsh environments that go way beyond any normal real-world use. It's wild, but it guarantees lasting performance that holds up well past the 12-year mark if you just keep up with basic maintenance. And speaking of holding up over time, I was actually totally staggered to learn this next stat. Independent testing confirmed that Daikin units maintain 94% of their rated efficiency even after 3 years of continuous operation. You know what the industry average is? Just 86%. That's a huge difference. This incredible retention is largely thanks to their microchannel heat exchangers that fiercely resist corrosion. It makes them absolutely perfect for high humidity torture chambers like the Southeast and the Gulf Coast. Moving on to Section 4, Smart Value and Best Warranties. Let's talk about protecting that investment. Now, the industry standard for warranties usually hovers right around 10 years for parts and the compressor, assuming you remember to register the unit. But these specific brands, they go way above and beyond. Carrier steps up with a lifetime compressor warranty on its premium Infinity series. Trane backs their gear with a really strong 12-year compressor warranty. Daikin gives you 12 years too, but crucially, and this is a big deal, they include full labor coverage if it's installed by a certified pro. And then there's Amana, dropping a staggering lifetime limited warranty on parts and the compressor. That is arguably the absolute best peace of mind coverage in the entire industry. All right, here is a brilliant industry secret that can save you some serious cash. You can actually get premium engineering at a way more accessible price point if you just understand the family tree. For instance, American Standard is manufactured by the exact same parent company as Trane. Internally, it's nearly identical. You get that Trane-level build quality and reliability just at a slightly lower, more accessible tier. The same exact thing goes for Bryant. Bryant uses the same components as Carrier, so you get that rock-solid Carrier reliability without paying for a few of the premium bells and whistles. It keeps more money right in your pocket. And if you are a purely budget-conscious buyer, don't worry, you have fantastic options with Ruud, Amana, and Goodman. Ruud is renowned for just being straightforward and really easy to service. But here is the real kicker for Amana and Goodman. They are actually owned by Daikin, the world's largest HVAC manufacturer. So even though these are budget-friendly systems, they share the exact same advanced Daikin engineering platforms. It gives you super dependable cooling without forcing you to pay a premium for features you simply might not even need. All right, Section 5, the 80-20 rule. Get ready because this completely changes how you should shop. And this brilliantly illustrates a massive misconception in home cooling. According to the data, 80% of an air conditioner's lifespan and system performance depends entirely on the quality of the installation. Only 20% actually depends on the brand name printed on the cardboard box. You could literally go out and buy the most expensive, ultra-efficient unit on the planet, but if the installer does a sloppy job, it is going to fail you, period. This quote from the source material really hits the nail on the head. A mid-tier system, properly sized and installed, will outperform a premium brand that is oversized, undercharged, or poorly ducted. The honest truth is, your brand choice is only as effective as the contractor who installs and services it. Finding a great, highly certified contractor is vastly more important to your 15-year investment than just pointing at the most expensive hardware on a brochure. Which brings us to our final part, Section 6, choosing your perfect system. To make all of this super actionable, we can distill the 2026 market down to this simple matrix, depending on what kind of homeowner you are. If your absolute top priority is slashing those energy bills, Lennox offers the maximum efficiency. If you're stuck in a sticky, humid environment and you demand premium comfort, Carrier is your go-to for humidity control. If you're in a demanding, harsh climate and you just want a tough box that refuses to die, Trane offers unmatched durability. And if you just want a reliable system without emptying your bank account, Goodman offers incredible budget value that's fully backed by Daikin Engineering. So when you are actually ready to pull the trigger, just follow these 4 simple steps. First, set your efficiency goals. Are you trying to cut your electric bill in half or just looking for reliable everyday cooling? Second, prioritize those warranties. Are you cool with 10 years or do you want that lifetime compressor protection? Third, depending on your climate, assess what you really need. A humid coastal area demands totally different tech than a dry desert, right? And fourth, and honestly, most importantly, based on what we just learned, choose a licensed, certified installer who knows exactly how to properly size and fit the system. So the crucial point is that you really have to localize your decision based on your unique environment. For example, the data highlights that for homeowners in hot, humid spots like Kennesaw and the greater Atlanta region, a SEER 2 rating between 16 and 20 typically hits the absolute perfect sweet spot. It gives you excellent long-term operating savings, but completely avoids the massive upfront cost of jumping to a 28 SEER 2 ultra-premium system. So as you prepare for this huge home investment, we want to leave you with this final, vital question to think about. Will you let a shiny brand name and some slick marketing distract you from the 80% of performance that relies entirely on your installer? Remember, at the end of the day, the best system out there is simply the one that matches your goals and is put in by a true professional. Thanks so much for joining us for this explainer. Stay cool out there, and we'll see you next time as we decode more complex topics.